Hi guys, I want to go through this real quickly to give you an understanding of what the importance of your movement pattern is so much, because a lot of people don't realise and they're just listening going, okay thanks, and then they're not working on anything, they're not trying to change anything on the movements. I'm going to go through something very simple, which is just a squat and a push-up, and that will give you the foundation, and I'm going to go through a side lunge as well. The foundation of a squat, as I said to you before, some of you have seen when I finish exercises, I explain it. When you're doing 100 jump squats, for example, you can work your hamstrings and your glutes so much to where you can build a good amount of muscle. But what happens is people are always so much more strong with their quadriceps that they end up losing technique. I would rather you didn't do as many and burn out with doing the correct technique than getting through 100 like this. That's not going to help you, okay? What you need to learn to do is get down, use that and jump. In that position, they're there. You're using your adductors, your hamstrings in here, your glutes, and obviously your quadriceps as well. So with that, you need to understand that when you're doing that, if you're in a situation where you are doing 100 and someone was judging you and went, right, you have to go in the correct position, then what would happen is they would be like, that doesn't count, that doesn't count. And if you went to that bottom position, your hamstrings and glutes would be too weak for you to get to that higher level. So what you need to understand is if you can get to that position, start strengthening the glutes and hamstrings when you're doing these things, then what happens is you're not just using one muscle group anymore. You're using your hamstrings, you're using your glutes, and you're using your quads. You're using 3 big muscle groups as opposed to just using one. So in the long term, not only are you going to be able to do more repetitions, you're going to have a better balance in how your body looks. So I see a lot of guys who will squat. They'll be like, I squat this amount, and I'll be like, okay. I'll look at their legs, and they'll have very little posterior chain. They'll have no glutes, very limited hamstrings. You can see from the way they stand that their hips are in the wrong position because they've got no glute activation. So then what happens is their shoulders roll forward. So when they overload the back, the spine doesn't sit in the right position. So they've got so much weight on them, and they're there. And that's so bad for the skeleton of your body because you're overloading the wrong muscles, you're overloading the bones, and you're never going to be able to engage the right muscles regardless of how much weight you put on. You have to go into the right body pattern. Another one, side lunge. When you're side lunging, your toes are forward. The reason for that is here, because you're stretching this muscle on the inside of your leg. So it's a dynamic movement at the same time as you're pushing with the outer glute, okay? If you turn your toe this way and do it, you've just ruined the exercise because you're just using your quad again. So what I'm trying to do is, this is a variation, it's a side lunge. You're using this part, you're opening up the hip. Not only will your body be able to get used to using a different movement pattern, like when you're younger, you move in different directions. Now you're so stiff, when you go to pick something up, you walk around, you pick things up. When you're younger, you just pick it up because you're supposed to use your spine in a correct manner. But now you don't, you try and keep your back straight because someone told you to keep your back straight. Your spine shouldn't be off. When you're doing normal daily activities, you should be using your spine correctly. That's how your spine's supposed to move. Don't listen to doctors and shit like that tell you, oh, just keep your back straight, or should always keep your back straight. That's a load of fucking bollocks, because you end up not using your spine correctly, then it fuses together to a certain extent with muscle stiffness, and your body's not used to it. So you go and play a game of football, or any sort of movement pattern that's childlike or old sport, and you fucking pull a muscle. Or you completely tear your hip flexor, because you're not doing the right movement patterns correctly, and your spine should be moving in all directions. And when you move in these directions, you should be strengthening the muscles that actually support those directions. So when you side lunge, you're learning to engage the inside of the leg, as opposed to when you're doing rubbish jump squats, you're not even using the inside of the leg. So what that one day that you do the sport activity, etc., that you don't, then you go down to this position, you end up fucking tearing the inside of your leg. And you can, if you're not good at it, once you get into these patterns, you'll see a substantial difference to how you feel per day, how you get out of your beds, because your body is back into it. Last bit of advice is move like childlike movements, and I always say this to give you more of a direct example. Childlike movements. When you're young, you run around, you turn, you twist, you rotate, these kind of things. And then when you get older, because you sit at a desk all the time and you walk and you don't really move movement patterns very low, then what happens is you end up stiffening up so much. So then you become very stiff in the mornings and stuff because you've stopped moving like that. From now on, moves like something. Be conscious of how you move. If something's over there and you want to pick it up, just pick it up. Just move to these positions. Like, obviously don't look like a weirdo, like push, like doing this and all that. But understand that if you're going to pick something up, just pick it up. Move in the correct position. Rotate your spine. Don't pick something up there and rotate like a truck and then pick it up. Like, move like that. If it's a heavy weight, like an overloaded weight, yes, you do need to keep your back straight. That would be so you're in the correct position with your spine. But in daily patterns, like just light bags and things and movement patterns, be aware of how much you're moving your spine. Because if you don't do it, as you get older, it's only going to get stiffer and you're going to be more prone to injury. You're going to have less, you're going to have muscles that will be never used for years and years and years. And that is extremely bad, and it's very something that I've noticed with a lot of people once they started listening to me. The difference in their movement patterns, their strength goes up, they're way more agile, they're faster, they're more confident with their movements as well. Anyway, don't want to go too much, rambled on a lot about it, but it's very important, everything I've been saying. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope you've watched it to this point so then you can understand the whole understanding of the pattern. So let me know if you get any questions.